Hey everybody, we are here at day 2 of the Partsbase PBEXPO. I have Jessie with me here. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Jessie's with GrandView Aviation. Maybe you could start with just a quick intro to yourself and maybe a little bit about GrandView.
Sure. Yeah, well, I've been with GrandView since the very beginning, pretty much.
Okay.
We added our first fixed-wing aircraft in 2016. We used to be a helicopter company.
Okay.
So our first Phenom 300 came online in 2016. We now have 14 of them and bases across the United States. So we've grown really quickly, and our motto is to really be kind of the ultra-high efficiency airline-style private aviation company. So
very cool.
We're buying our own sim next year, trying to just be as efficient as possible and consistent as possible with our fleet.
So one aircraft across
one
the board.
One aircraft type, lowers maintenance costs, keeps training simple, and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a particular geographic location that you guys focus in on?
I mean, just domestic U.S. right now. Right now, our primary headquarters is in Maryland, but we have bases all across the U.S. at this point. So Arizona, Denver, Chicago, Los Angeles, hopefully everywhere by next year. So.
Very cool. I know you're very involved in a couple different organizations and things like that. Maybe what groups are you a part of, and what are you working on outside of GrandView?
Yeah, so we were a small operator, became a large operator pretty quickly. So I think it's important for me to kind of give back to the safety community with the things that I've learned as we've scaled. So I'm on the Air Charter Safety Foundation, as well as the chair of the Part 135 committee at National Air Transportation Association, just working on all sorts of industry-wide programs to increase safety, increase efficiency in the industry, and just try to help each other out as much as we can. So.
Very cool. So we were talking a little bit about flight data monitoring, FDM. How does that play into safety, and what are some of the things that are going on right now with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really exciting time, I think, for business aviation. It's something that the airlines have had for many years, flight data monitoring, because they've had analysts, they've had these huge data scientists that can actually collect and use that information. For business aviation, we're talking about a couple people in a flight department. It hasn't been something that's been accessible to a lot of people.
Right.
But these days, and even here at the show, there's starting to be a lot of products coming to market that are affordable for a small operator. I mean, we're talking about getting into flight data monitoring for $2,000 a year at Airplane. That's something that almost everybody can afford to do as an aircraft operator. And for the safety element, what our program is doing right now, we have a beta test with Air Charter Safety Foundation. We've got in one of our airplanes currently, and essentially we're getting the data off the airplane as soon as the airplane comes into the hangar and connects to the Wi-Fi, and we can go back and look at a flight from a 3D perspective. So we're looking at all the charts, the rate of climb, rate of descent, maneuvering, everything that happens in the cockpit post-flight, and working with the pilot to say, okay, well, was that a stabilized approach or not? How could we have improved here, improved there? It takes a lot of trust, because you are like the big brother in the cockpit. So it has to be completely protected from your operations team. It's held by our safety team, and they use it for training only. But I mean, things like that, we used to never know what was happening in the cockpit. Now we can actually take the live data, work with the pilot, and train them better, or give them, information on how they're handling the aircraft. So pretty amazing stuff.
Very cool. And I know from that's, there's a lot of good data there that could be used from a safety standpoint. I also know that having access to that data can also allow you to maybe make changes to your operation and improve things from like a financial standpoint, sustainability. So how are you guys looking at that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much data to analyze, so we're just kind of getting to the tip of the iceberg, but we would love to get into fuel efficiency. Are there performance climbs matching up to the profiles that we want them to fly? From maintenance perspective, we can maybe start to do predictive maintenance, because we can see the trends of when these failures are occurring, and was there a specific maneuver or something that was occurring previously that caused it. So, I mean, that's the thing with FDM. There's so many data variables you can analyze. It can seem overwhelming. So you have to kind of pick and choose what's most important. For us, we're starting with the safety and the training aspect of it, but it's a mountain of data to go through.
For sure. Very cool. So, what are we? March now into 2022. Any big things happening on the horizon for GrandView?
We're just adding more airplanes and hiring more crew members, so please apply.
Okay.
Flytv.com.
Perfect.
Looking for great people. But yeah, I think like everybody else, the industry is just very busy right now, so we're trying to add as much capacity as we can.
Very cool. Well, thank you for stopping by. It was great seeing you, and we'll chat soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.